Every golf course is unique, but I would say Gray Walls in Marquette, Michigan takes it to another level. Let's take you through my round at what I think is the most insane golf course I've ever played. Make sure to subscribe to follow along, and we're off to the first tee. We're tipping it out at 6,800 yards and starting out with a 580-yard par 5. This fairway is so tilted left to right that you could land it in the very left side of the fairway and miss it in the right rough. Also, I forgot to mention, when I filmed this, it was June 4th and 40 degrees in Michigan, so very chilly. This one starts out down the left side and ends up right in the right rough. I learned really quickly that I'm going to have some crazy lies out here, just trying to hack a 4-iron to get it up by the green. It's going to miss just short left.
All good, down there.
The first green is a huge turtleback, so you can't miss on either side. I'm left with a tough chip here. I landed just on the front, but they're running quick today, and this is going to trickle all the way off the back. Trying to be conscious of my speed, I baby this wedge, and it doesn't quite get up there as much as I'd like.
Yeah. Not that fast.
I don't love starting with a bogey, but sure is better than a double.
Well, hole 2 is a completely blind tee shot. The yardage book says to aim towards that left 150 stake. It's about 420 something from back here, so you know, it's just gonna hit and hope. That's all we can do.
A completely blind tee shot from back here, 425-yard par 4. I'm a little stiff and I end up flaring this thing out to the right, but there's plenty of room over there. 175 yards left in a little bit of a swale. I have a 9-iron here playing a little bit downwind. I think it's on a pretty good line. It ends up being a little left of where I'd like it, and I'll have a tough chip.
Yeah, sure. Oh no, an inch.
One more foot and that was perfect. A tough uphill lie here and I stub it into the hill. I'm really looking to avoid double here. I try to trust my putter and drain it for a bogey. Off to our first par 3 of the day, 174-yard par 3, a pretty wide open green with that pin tucked on the left side.
We're gonna be exploring some bunkers.
An uncomfortable 20-yard bunker shot for my second shot, and I'm able to catch this one pretty much perfect. It's gonna land up there and trickle down the hill towards the hole. I joined up with some locals who are members of the course, and this was pretty embarrassing to do in front of them. Nonetheless, a bogey, and we're on to the next. Another super cool hole here. Hole 4, a 425-yard par 4 with a huge knob in the center of the fairway. I flare this one a little bit out to the right, but you see how the fairway peaks out over there? That's where this one ends up. 125 yards with the ball above my feet, and when you have the ball above your feet, it tends to push the ball a little bit to the left, and that's where this one goes. Luckily, that big rock formation kind of pushes everything towards the hole. And these huge rocks is why it's called gray walls, the gray walls of rocks lining the entire golf course.
Wow, thought I hammered it.
I'm still getting used to the speed of the greens out here. I have about 6 feet left from my par, and this breaks the opposite way that I think, and we're on the bogey train. Here's some inside knowledge on the next hole from some members.
Tree right above the 100, that's like kind of not really levy. You got to be left of that.
Gotcha.
Got to be left of it.
Yeah.
And you don't need the big stick. If you take the big stick, go straight at the green, basically. You pull it like straight over that, basically first rock formation, going straight over. But you know, 3-iron is probably fine.
Okay, yeah.
I took their advice and hit my 4-iron off the tee, and it ends up in a really precarious situation. That rock formation I was supposed to go over, well, we're going to be hitting our next shot on top of it.
Bit interesting here. A little over 100.
It was tough to get a yardage from up here, and I think because of the elevation difference from how high up I was, I overshot this one a little bit. Just a 60 degree, but it goes a little long. Also, just take a look at how large this rock wall is.
Oh, shit.
It's been tough with my chipping on this trip, and I bladed another one. Nothing super new. I'm going to end up with a really long putt for my par.
Oh! Thank you.
What's new? Another bogey, and we walk up to the 6 holes tee.
All right, got hole 6, really cool par 3, rocks everywhere, but we got a little 7-iron, gonna play it like 185.
It honestly feels like these holes are literally just carved out of the rock. I have a 7-iron here, like I said, make decent contact coming in right to left. Luckily, this green slopes right to left, so it's going to bring it back towards the hole.
All right.
A long look for birdie, and I'm really just trying to be conscious of my speed to avoid another 3-putt up and over a hill, and this trickles down there nicely next to the hole.
All right. Thanks.
Hole 7 is a super cool hole with rocks sticking up in the middle of the fairway. A 489-yard par 4, a beast teeing up on top of a hill down towards the fairway. I make decent contact, but like I said, I'm pretty stiff and I'm going to miss this one to the right.
Well, in the right fescue, we got like 205, little 6-iron.
With this type of shot, I'm trying to just get this up by the green. Even if it doesn't make it onto the green, front edge or a little bit short, it's okay.
Oh.
It took a big bounce down that hill and ended up on the front edge, but I have about an 85-foot putt here through some caverns. Tough to get the read right, and the speed was a little bit too much. I'm really just trying to avoid another 3-putt, about 8 feet left for my par, and again, a bogey.
Hole 8 looks like a fun one. Little rock formation on the right side. Just try to take it over there. Par 4, it's only about 340 something, so hit driver down there.
Everyone else in my group hit an iron, but this was downwind and too tempting to not take a stab at. I make super nice contact, and this is one of my better drives so far.
Well, I just pummeled one down here, a little chip shot up there, a little backstop too. We'll see if the ball decides to use it or not.
Like I said, my chipping has been up in the air this entire trip. I catch a little bit too much ball, a little stabby, but luckily it takes a nice bounce into the hill and ends up right there next to the hole. I have a really good look for bird here. Just need to trust the putter, and I just don't give it enough pace.
Oh. Man, that's unfortunate.
Neither here nor there, and we're on to hole 9, a super cool hole to finish off the front. 389-yard par 4. I take a driver, start this down the center, but it's tailing a little bit to the right. Luckily, I catch a little bit of space, and I'll be okay. Only about 70 yards left. I have a clean shot at the flag, and this thing's posted up on a top hill. You can't be short. I land this on the front, and it trickles out to about 15-20 feet.
Wow, that was more downhill than that.
I'll tap him for my par to finish up the front, and that's a 41 on the front 9. 3 out of 7 fairways, 5 out of 9 greens, and a bad 19 putts. Just got to limit those 3 putts on the back.
Hole 10 here, 336, pretty straight away. Double fairway, a lot of room right, so we'll try to miss it just a little bit over there if we can.
I've been playing my fade all day, so I aim down the left side and overcook this one to the left. Luckily, even though it looks pretty thick over there, there's a ton of room and we're able to find my ball.
That'll be interesting.
Just had to chop it out of this thick stuff, and this pin's in a really accessible spot. Pretty much a little bowl over there. I just don't make it up the hill. Overall, though, considering the front, a good par to start the back.
Thanks.
Hole 11's a super cool hole, a 388-yard par 4, teeing off down the hill, but then it goes back up. Now this one decides to fade, starts down the center of the fairway, and peels over to the right side. A clean shot, only 80 yards left, and this is a no-brainer. Go right at the flag, but I let this thing flare open, and this is not the spot you want to miss. A near to impossible bunker shot, and especially for not playing the course before, I don't start this thing far enough to the right, and this is going to roll really far down that hill. This would be super nice to go to save a par. Up the hill about 20 feet, and I don't give this one enough respect. Good speed, though. I'll tap in for a bogey.
It's easy to make a lot of bogeys out here. You got a long par 4, 490. It's just kind of a blast away type of hole. Pretty wide open.
I'm not quite sure why I said this hole's wide open. There's plenty of room down the left side, but right is pretty much dead. I started this down the left, overfade it once again, and I'm going to be lucky to find this ball. Still about 205 yards in. I have a 6-iron here, looking to get something up by the green. Probably one of my better iron shots so far. It's going to end up on the green and give me a decent look at bird. Now by decent, I mean a 55-footer up the hill, but not too bad for a 490-yard par 4. Give this one a little bit too much juice and a slippery one down the hill for my par.
Thanks.
Now off to our first par 5 of the back 9, a 559-yard par 5, and if I hit 2 good ones, I can get there. I try to start this one at the left bunkers and fade it back, but it doesn't quite fade enough for me, and I'm going to end up in that bunker.
It's all right, it's par 5. We're just going to lay up a little 6. Oh, yep. Get over. All right. All right, well, chunk layup. Just gotta hit it up there, a little 8-iron.
Even though we chunked it, just trying to minimize the damage here and get it on the green to give myself a look for bird. Definitely not the right club here, needed one more. This thing stays left and then it's gonna be short.
One more club and that was perfect.
Here's a great demonstration of what not to do when you're chipping.
Oh, that's gone. Oh.
I trickle all the way down the hill, a tough chip shot up here, and I stab
Get
it
up.
again. Now we have this 15-footer to save Bogue.
Really not much to say about that one. That's gonna make you feel any better.
Oh my gosh.
Probably one of the craziest lip outs of my life, but we gotta put it past us. Hole 14 is a 449-yard par 4, plenty of room out to the right, and I have no shame in missing this out to the right because this is gonna end up in the other fairway, and the members say it's actually a decent line. Just pitching wedge left and actually a really decent angle. If you can see right of this pin, there's a huge false edge, so I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. It's gonna end up a little bit short, but on the front edge of the green. Here's a putt that's going to test my speed control, which has been off all day. Probably about an 80-footer, trying to get the break right and the speed. It's going to curl right at the hole and leave a tester 6-footer for par.
All right. Okay, we have a really long par 3, 240 into the wind, hole 15, little 2-iron. Go in, maybe? Oh. Oh.
Even though we're just short, I was super pumped to get this up there by the green on a long par 3. I elect to putt this because my chipping's been trash and hit a decent one. We'll tap in for par. It's a great par on this long hole. Hole 16 is super cool, 371 yards, a straight dogleg right. You have to lay up with an iron, so I'm just hitting a 6-iron off the tee to get myself in position.
Stop.
I end up just trickling through the fairway, just a 52-degree though into this hole. My foot slips a little bit, but this is headed right at the hole. I think it's absolutely perfect, but we're going to be just long, leaving a long putt to 2-putt down there for par.
Stop.
Again, a sneaky fast putt, leaving a tough 4-footer and just no confidence at all. That's another Bogue. Hole 17 is a 137-yard par 3 with a really tricky green. A huge false edge off the back. I have a 56-degree. It's downwind. Never playing this course before. I didn't quite realize the drop-off on the back, and I go long. Had I known, I probably would have taken a shorter club. A near to impossible shot here, trying to bump it up into the hill, and that's pretty much the best I could have done from there.
Oh.
Last year.
Really? All right, hole 18, really cool view of the lake there, downhill, par 5, 533, pretty gettable, so.
From the tee, it's a really cool tee shot. It looks like a little shoot. I start this down the left side, hit it well, and it's going to fade back, catch the slope, and just miss right of the fairway. 205 in, I hit a 6-iron. I get a little fly or lie here. Comes out with no spin. It's going to land just short of the flag, but trickle off the back. Nonetheless, though, having this putt for eagle on the last hole is pretty solid.
Oh, man.
And what do you say? Don't give it enough pace. A tough putt now for my birdie. Just trying to get it down there. If it goes, it goes. If not, it's all good. And that's Gray Balls. We'll tap in for my par, a 41 on the back, 82 total, 4 out of 14 fairways, 10 out of 18 greens, 37 putts. Definitely have to work on that, but a super fun experience. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.